Truth, really that's all we know. Keep it real and authentic, this truth be told. Only the truth. Tune in, cause you gotta watch. It's like you with us while we kick it in the barbershop. Here to motivate and inspire. Hosted by the real deal and the God Barber. I hope that you ready, keep it funny and edgy. Let's go. You already know. Truth be told, let's go.
Another edition of Troof Be Told. I'm your host, Real Deal, and I got my boy, the God Barber, and also Desiree is in the building. Hey, we had a really, really special one. But before we do that, like we always say, make sure you subscribe to our channel. Make sure you hit that button so you don't miss any of the episodes. You know, we got this thing, truth be told, I don't know a Tyrone.
You say you don't know a Tyrone.
I don't necessarily know one, but I know Desiree, you know one, right? T Green, you know one?
I know a Tyrone.
Okay.
I know a lot of Tyrones. But now, what we finna do?
Call him. Hey, listen, man, we're going to get right over into this thing, man. Tonight, we have a special guest, a multi-award-winning poet, writing coordinator, activist, workshop facilitator, a teacher, and doula. That's something a little bit different. You know what doula is?
Doula, I don't know what
Don't
doula
worry
is.
about it. Don't worry about it. Self-published author of 3 books, also featured on Dope Poetry, televised on national TV, on Afro TV, and also featured in the Poetry After Dark. And also BET she also got invited to BET Awards to actually take a part in the BET experience. We're gonna learn about that. Ranked 14th in the nation by the women of the World Poetry Slam, and also 13th in the nation in the Southern Fried Poetry Slam. We are going the one and only, man, world famous. The world famous. The world famous.
Yes, sir.
Whitney Mays, also known as Whit the Poet.
The Poet.
Yeah,
Welcome.
Whit.
Yes, y'all got to do the poetry snap.
Oh, yeah. Whit, what's going on?
Wait, this it right here?
Yeah. She did it. He did it right away. I wondered what she would do.
That's her world.
I was like, she's
That's
snapping
her
at
world.
us, you know?
Y'all got to snap me in.
Okay.
Yeah.
Snap,
Okay. Well,
snap.
you gonna be snapped in.
Yes.
Whit in the house. Whit got me snapping.
Yes.
That's our poetry snap, y'all.
Right, yeah.
Whitney look real, prestige over there too, don't she?
Boy, hey, listen, real. When Whitney walked in,
Yeah.
I just seen her. I seen the vibe. Mm-hmm. She got a vibe.
Right, yeah.
Got a vibe,
And to me, her vibe is like showing that, look, man, I'm who I am.
Yeah.
I don't care about what you think.
Unapologetically.
I am
That
who
part.
I am.
Yes.
I love it though.
But you know what? I know why she got an attitude like that. Boy. I know exactly where that attitude comes from now. Yeah, but I'm talking about in a good way.
Yeah.
Yeah, in a good way. Because just by looking at her, I told her this off the camera. I got to tell her on camera.
Okay.
Girl look just like her mama.
Just
There
like
you
it.
go.
I'm talking about,
like-
man, much respect to her. It's Maria, y'all. If you want to go professional,
Yeah.
her government name is Maria.
technical.
But if you from the Rogers Project
Yeah.
on 13th Avenue and 6th,
Yeah.
She gonna let you know.
her name is Wiki. Wiki.
Wiki?
Yeah.
Okay, Wiki. I got you.
Yeah.
Well,
Roger Project, man.
I don't know Wiki.
You don't know
like
Wiki?
that. But I know the other half.
Know the other
you know
half.
what I'm saying? So we'll get into that. How
Yeah,
you doing?
yeah.
How you doing
I'm
today?
good. I'm good. I am good.
You look good. You
Thank
look good.
Thank you.
Yeah, man.
Absolutely. So let's go ahead and get started. I mean, for some that may not know who you are and where you're from and stuff like that, you are from the local area of Bradenton,
Yes.
right?
Born and raised.
Born and raised. You ain't been nowhere else. This is where you at, huh?
This is where I am. Station.
Station. Shoot. So you know when Green, when we talk about hometowns, right? 'Cause
Yeah.
This is a little small area. It's not that big, populated like that, but it's some very talented people that come from this area. Very talented, and we're starting to learn, man. The more we do this, I mean, from all different phases
Yeah.
of life, you have people doing certain things
Yeah.
in your backyard,
Yeah.
and you may not even realize it.
Don't
That's
even
true.
know.
Yeah.
It. Don't even know.
So you've been doing poetry now for how long?
Probably about 14 years. I would say 14 years, like just off straight doing poetry. I started writing when I was about 10. And from there, I just kind of kept going with it. I wrote my first poem at 10 years old, and it won in a contest that I was doing a part of my school. And from there, once I won, I was like, okay, I could do this, and I just kept going ever since.
From there,
I
10 years old.
didn't even stop.
At 10? So what made you, okay, what made you get into that at 10? How'd you know about poetry at 10?
It was so random. Like my school that I was going to, they was just doing like a writing prompt for National Poetry Month in April. And me, I was like, okay, whatever. That's what I got to do. It's school. Got to do it. So I wrote a poem. Like I said, I was 10 years old. I wrote a poem about love. Didn't know nothing about no love at 10 years old. But the poem that I wrote, it won first place for the whole entire school. So I was able to go up, perform that poem at, the winner was able to go to like the fairgrounds and, do their poem and all of that.
Yeah.
So I won and I did it. And from there, I was like, okay, I like this. I like being on stage. I like the crowd of poetry. And from there, I just took it to the next level each time. And I started getting into like slams. They call them poetry slams.
Poetry slams.
And, those are kind of like people that's been doing it for a long time.
Yeah.
So I went to my first slam once I moved with my dad in Fort Lauderdale. I would think I was like 13 when I went to like my first real poetry slam, and I was like, whoa. This is serious. And then when I seen that and I seen all those people, like passionate about what they do, which is poetry, I was like, yeah, this is what I want to do. And I just stuck with it. And started building my brand of poetry, Whit the Poet. This is what I want to do. This is who I am. And from there, it just took off.
That's crazy,
But
boy. At 10.
You know
Yeah.
what? So, all right. Because the times I've been to a slam, I was fortunate enough to go to New York, and I actually went to a slam there, and it was a very unique situation. I don't know if New York may be the mecca of poetry. I
It
don't
is,
know, but
yeah.
it just seemed
It
as
is.
if it's different there. But while I was there, what I took notice of is how people actually perform. It's one thing to do poetry and to write poetry, but also it's a performance.
Oh, yeah.
So where did
Deep.
that come in you? Like, was that always just in you to perform in front of people like
I
that?
think so. I just had to kind of, find my way with it. Entertainment has always been in me, because it's in my family. I come from a list of people that just do all kind of stuff for entertainment. So once I went to that, poetry slam, I was like, okay, this is what I want to do. How can I become Whit the Poet in this particular atmosphere? So I wrote another poem, one of my most popular pieces that I have. It's called This Generation. It started out as a 10-minute poem, okay? And I performed it for my dad first. Like nobody, he was my first audience, so to speak.
Okay.
And that poem, like I said, it was 10 minutes, but we all know the human mind can only grasp something for 3 minutes at tops. So once I did that at like a poetry slam, they was like, your poem is good, but you lost us after 3 minutes. The poem too long, you need to chop it down. So I was like, okay, that's constructive criticism. I went home, I picked out, the top pieces in that 10-minute poem and broke that poem down to 3 minutes. So out of that, I was like, okay, this is going to be my staple poem, how I'm going to grab people's attention, and how they going to know, okay, this with the poet, she got something to say, and we going to remember her. So that particular poem kind of branded me as a poet. And from there, I was like, yeah, this is it. This is my vibe. This who I want to be around. This the type of people, the crowd, just that whole poetry world and atmosphere. It's different.
Yeah.
It's totally different. Like you said, people got their own, way of doing poetry. And a lot of people don't understand it's different aspects of poetry. You got the soft poetry. You got the poetry. And I'm kind of in the middle.
In the middle,
between
yeah.
both of that. Because I could write a poem, it could be real calm and stiff. And then on the other hand, I got this poem that's right in your face. I'm finna get with you, So who I am as a poet, I'm right in the middle. I give it to you raw and I give it to you nice and easy all at the same time. But either way, you're going to get what I got to say.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
go get it. You go get it.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's amazing, though, man. I mean, just to start doing that at 10,
Yeah.
I'm saying, okay, even coming up as a child, did you hear your mama or anybody,
No.
your aunties or somebody?
People say
You ain't sang in the church? You ain't standing in front of the church? Easter speech?
No, I had never done anything like that. It just kind of, I guess it just was in me. I just had to kind of birth it out, And when I did that, I was like, okay, yeah, this is it. But I had nobody in my family was doing poetry. Nobody had ever, wrote, they wasn't like a poet,
Right.
I'm the first poet in the family, on both sides, so it's very interesting to see the different dynamics of entertainment, because we got singers, we got songwriters, we got dancers, we got people but this is not a poet. So my world of entertainment is totally different in all aspects. I'm seeing all kind of stuff just through poetry, in the world of poetry, in the arts and entertainment in that field, and it's so different. Like they said, poetry got its own whole world of entertainment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, the reason I asked that because I wanted to see what she say. Like, did it come from anything? And she said no. It just
It
just
really
in
just
you.
happened. Like
that's like a gift. That's what I'm saying. It's
yeah,
a gift.
yeah.
And you can't really explain a gift.
Yeah.
Like if a child come up to Whitney and say, "Hey, Whitney, teach me how to be a poet." Whitney might not know how to do it because
I don't.
Right.
yeah, it's
Right.
a gift to her.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
She can't break it down, you know.
That's a good point.
And I get it. People have, teach me how you write. Teach me your style, and you can't teach anybody a gift.
Yeah.
You could show them, how to perfect their craft, but you can't teach them exactly the gift that you have. I could teach poetry classes, and do workshops all day. But nobody is going to be able to grasp, that form of entertainment or that form of, passion, because if it's not in you, it's not. And if you don't have that same type of love for whatever it is that you do, it's not going to show. Like cutting hair.
Yeah.
This what you've been doing for, 30 years, you say?
Yeah,
And
34.
you can't teach nobody how to do an edge. You can't. You could show them, but if that's not what they want to do, that's not what they gonna do.
Yeah.
They heart
Yeah.
not gonna be in it. So they not gonna portray that like you could.
Yeah.
Because this is what you do. This is your gift. This is what you wanted to do. So, and I feel like that's all about acts of service. If it's not in you, it's not gonna portray like that. You'll do it for the money, but that's not in your heart. You don't really want to do it, so it's gonna show.
Yeah. You have to be able to connect.
Right.
I think that connection to your words, because you feeling it, and it's one thing for me to go on stage and just read a poem. Right?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
can read the same poem, right? I can read the poem. I can read it. I can try my best to, express. But if it's not connecting,
Right.
right? It's that connection that you have with your words that's so special. Let me ask you this. Do you remember the first time you had, how do you say it, perform your poem? How you,
Yeah.
Okay, perform your.
I don't remember verbatim like the day and all that, but I do remember, how I felt. Like I said, I was in Fort Lauderdale because that's kind of where I started my brand of poetry when I was living with my dad. And, he took me to my first, poetry reading, open mic. And when I was there, I was like, this is dope. I was ready. I was anxious. I was ready to get up and read my 10-minute piece, know. And when I did it, it was just like a sense of, getting free. It was a sense of, like independence. It was a sense of, just like, okay, this is how I get people to recognize me. This is how I get people to understand what I'm saying, and more on a racial note, how to bring them into my world, because like I said, the first poem is called This Generation. It basically was talking about being black, growing up in America, how the government and the system don't like us. And I was doing that poem in front of, quote unquote, a white crowd, and they was like, yo, that was deep.
It kind of makes
so
them,
they can relate to a topic like that. Just lets me know, I'm connecting with all kind of people, and it's not just, because this is what I said. It's I made them feel what I said. It's not just, she said that I like her. She had a nice head wrap. I like
Right.
her. It was more of I really felt what she said.
Yeah.
It's true. I ain't up there just lying, talking about nothing, just making stuff rhyme.
Right.
Because a poet could get up there and make stuff rhyme, and you don't know what
And
they
still
was
not
talking
saying
about.
nothing.
And still
Yeah.
not saying nothing at all. But for me as a poet, I really try to dig deep into, stuff that's really going on in the world or in the community, so people could really grasp to what I'm saying, what I'm talking about. I want to make them feel what I'm saying. I want to, when I write, I like to make sure my audience can envision exactly how I felt in that moment. So that portrays through my poetry. They could close their eyes and literally feel as if they was right there with me when I'm writing.
So that's where I was going to go, because I've seen you perform at a church, a funeral, outside
Right.
the church. I've seen you
Right.
perform your poems on different levels. And so I was going to ask, like, what is your approach to your craft when you're doing, like, if someone says, hey, we want you to say this poem at a funeral for this person. Because the ones I've heard, like, it's, like, deep. Even if you might not have known that person personally. But like you said, you're grabbing the attention of the crowd that's there. So, like, when you go into those moments, like, what is your thought process?
Yeah, it depends. Like I get people asking me all the time, can you write a poem for this? Can you write a poem for this? And it's always something different. Like I said, I got a poem for everything.
Yeah.
So people that ask me to do, poems at different events, they know that I'm going to deliver
Right.
for whatever type of event it is. If it's a funeral, if it's a birthday, if it's
wedding,
a
or what-
wedding,
yep,
or
yep.
you just having a picnic in the park. I got a poem for everything, so they know that. And it's just a matter of what is it. First of all, what type of event are you having? What's your crowd? And, basically, what is the theme of your event? So that's kind of my main questions I ask. And once I get those three things, pretty much in the bullet hole, I'm like, okay, this is what we need to talk about. This the poem I'm going to do. If it's a funeral, I don't necessarily even have to know the person.
Right.
I've got random people asking me, yo, can you write a poem, just for this person, for the funeral. You don't got to be nothing personal, just, something, words of encouragement. And just something as simple as that, just knowing that I have that platform to write and to express, that other people can't. And it's just something as simple as, just words of encouragement.
Right.
A lot of people don't know what to say in those
Yeah.
times like that. So they look for people of entertainment, to write, and, to hold up to that standard. And, I just always say, okay, well, what type of event is it? Who's your audience? What are you looking for me to say to the people?
Yeah.
And from there, I just go from there, and that's how I kind of build my crowd, build my audience, get the aura of my surroundings, because from there, I can kind of know what I'm going to say
Right.
and what I'm going to write about.
So, go ahead, Real.
Well, you talked about your audience and being able to just connect with your poetry. They can close their eyes and kind of they can see the journey and what you're feeling. But what impact does it have on you when that first person or someone come and just tell you how much it connected? Like, what impact do it have on you personally?
It's a feeling, like, I don't know how to explain. It's a good feeling, like grandmama cooking. It just feel good going down, and like that hug you get, from Big Mama, it just feel good,
Yeah.
So when I do a piece, no matter what it is, no matter what type of event it is, no matter how many people in the audience, if it's 1 to 1,000, if one person come up to me and be like, I really felt that, that touched me, I can relate to everything you say, even something just simple as that lets me know I did my job. I delivered what I was supposed to say, and it touched whomever it was supposed to touch, and it just feel good, you know, because somebody else can relate to what you talking about. It's not just you up there doing a poem.
Right.
You know, it's other people out there that feel the same, that's going through those same things, you know, that got those same thoughts. They just don't know how to portray it. You know, so when they be like, that's exactly what I'm feeling, that's what I'm going through.
Yeah.
And I get it all the time, you know, and it just feel good because it's just like, you know, a reassurance, you
Yeah,
know, that I'm
absolutely.
on the right path,
Absolutely.
you know,
Absolutely.
because I always, like, even when I write a new poem, I you know, I ask the spirit to lead me to where you want me to write this poem, you know. I write all the time, you know, just keep my mind going to, it's like an exercise for me every day. I get up, you know, I say my mantra, I thank the Most High, and I write, you know, because you just never know what's going to happen. You never know, you know, who going to need a poem for what.
Yeah.
So I just constantly write, you know, keep that in exercise, and just knowing that people are relating to what I'm saying, to no matter what it is I'm writing about, it just feel good. Yeah.
That's what I was going to ask you about. How much do you write?
Oh,
But you
all the
already
time.
answered that question.
All the time.
But okay, look, Whitney. So poetry could be deep.
Very.
Deep. See, like every time I look at poetry, when I do look at it, it's deep.
It's deep.
I mean, y'all, to me, y'all coming from the soul.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, have you ever did a poem that was very emotional to you?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I have two poems that I honestly don't like doing, you know, because it's so deep. You know, it's so emotional, and I never know
To the point where you cry as you do it?
Yeah. And I never know. Like I cry for me, you know, because I know what it was I went through when I wrote it. You know, I know what it took out of me writing it, you know, energy wise, and I just never know how the crowd or my audience is going to react because it's so deep. Like I know they're going to, you know, react in the way that I need them to.
Yeah.
But it's just like, dang. It just leaves you stuck.
Yeah.
And I don't necessarily like doing those pieces because unless I have to, you know, and unless I feel that the room needs that, you know. But for the most part, it can be so deep to the point where you don't want to hear it. It's just too much.
Yeah.
You know, it's too much to, you know, to put into you, because then you like, dang, you know, I'm not hurt, but I'm sad. You know, my aura, she just shifted my aura. You know, it's like a shift, you know, and not everybody is mentally prepared to acknowledge and accept a mental shift, even if it is for 2 minutes. You know, 'cause they don't want to deal with whatever it is that poem is speaking about.
Right.
You know, specifically speaking, those two poems are about rape and abuse. And when you talking about those two things, it's already a serious topic.
Yeah.
But to put it in words and to get people to go into that mental aspect, even if it didn't happen to them, they know somebody that
Somebody
went
who
through
went
it,
through
Yeah.
or they've seen it, or they heard about it, and it just put them in a place like, it's like a taboo. They don't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
You know, but here I am talking about it out loud, you know, and it's just like, it's a shift, you know. You really don't know how to move once that shift take place. You know, you kind of just like, all right, next poem. Who's next? You know, because that next poem and that next poet is gonna come and shift the room back to you know, a good space. You know, because don't nobody want to be in that aura. Don't nobody want to feel that. You know, like I said, it's like a taboo. Don't nobody want to talk about it. But we gotta talk about it to talk about it.
Right.
You know, so and I think it's important to have those shifts in poetry and just anything, you know, because it's important. You know, it brings up conversation, it brings up validation, it brings up, you know, anything that you're going through to think about. It just brings up conversation, you know, from this to that, you know, anything. If it may have happened to you or it didn't, you know, you feel some type of way because you know somebody that went through, you know, something like that, and it just, you know, it's a dark place, and it is deep. You know, it come from a place where hurt, pain, you know, like just struggle, you know, all of that, and people don't want to talk about that. People don't want to talk about that. And I go to a lot of shows and a lot of slams and different poetry, and every time a poem like that is about to start, you know, because the atmosphere in the room is already set for it. So when that poem come up, you know, they kind of make a joke, you know, another sad rape poem, and they make the audience laugh because they know that this poem finna be sad and we finna shift the room. So they try to joke about it at first before they get deep. you know, because poetry is deep. And if you're not ready for it, you're not ready for it.
Right.
Well,
Didn't you do a poem? Did Asia dance to a poem?
Yes,
Okay.
yeah.
Now
And that tied into so
Yes,
much stuff.
that-
It's actually a play
Yeah.
that I wrote, and it's called Silent Cries.
Ugh.
And it's talking about everything. Like, it's talking about, you know, alcoholism and mostly things that the African American family deals with. You know, African alcoholism, you know, within the family. You know, molestation. You know, the son got to be the man in the house. He got to go out and sell drugs. You know, just so much is in that poem, and it's broken up into 4 stories. And I was telling a story, you know, like the poet behind everything, and I had dancers acting out everything that I was saying. So it's a full play. It's like a dramatization play, but I put it in poem form so people can really grasp everything that I was saying. You know, like the first story opens up with this girl, you know, she's getting abused by her mom because she's an alcoholic. And the whole poem stems around, you know, faith. You know, who you believe in, what do you believe in. You know, you going to get through it. It's going to get rough before it get better. And right before you think you finna give up, that's when the Most High, you know, reach in and grab you and say, you know, I got you. You know, this not the end. And it's broken up into 4 pieces. And that's another poem that's just deep.
Very deep.
It draws you into, like, okay, this some real life stuff. This really going on. You know, and to make you think, like, okay, poetry ain't just roses are red, violets are blue, the sky.
It's not the sunshine. It's not all of that.
It's
Yeah.
really not.
Yes, sir.
It'll definitely
It's
make you
not.
think and to dig deep, like you said, and realize that there's some things that you may need to
Yes.
address that you've kind of been brushing under the rug. So
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's my favorite type of poetry, you know, that real, raw, you know, that make you get in your tissue bag, you know, because it's like, I'm finna come where you at. You know, I'm coming where you at, and you know, you can't hide. This way we at. This what I see, and I'm gonna write about it. I'm gonna talk about it. And if you don't want to say nothing, I'm gonna say something. You know, because it needs to be said.
Yeah.
You know, and your story is gonna get heard even if you don't tell it.
If you don't tell it, that's
somebody
true.
else is gonna say it.
yeah.
As long as you talking to people and getting your message out, somebody listening, and I'm the listener, and I'm gonna write about it. You know,
Right.
people think they just be talking, venting. And next week I got a whole poem.
Right.
Whitney, but
I'm listening. I'm listening to everything
That's
saying.
subscribe with what got there. I'm right out
Yes,
everything you
sir,
say, boy.
but we're serious, boy.
My mental, I take a picture like mentally.
Absorb,
and
yeah.
I'm absorbing like people. That's what people like talking to me. Some people, because some people they know it's a poem gonna come out of it.
Yeah.
You know, so they
trying to get their story out.
They
wanna
trying to get their
yeah.
story out. But some people they just venting. They just talking. You know, they don't have nobody to talk to the whole time. You know, I'm there. I'm listening. But at the end of the day, this is the story. Somebody got to hear this. This is gonna help somebody. You know, and that's who I am. You know, I want to help in every way that I can. If that's only through poetry, that's my gift. And I'm going to use that gift to tell everybody's story, even if it's not just mine.
Well, you probably got some, but you got some family members scared of you because
yeah.
they don't know what you gonna say.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Invite Whit last to the cookout.
Boy, I ain't gonna tell you.
Talk about
Boy.
everything. She could come last.
Yeah, man. Because sometime when you get deep, and when you're not afraid
Oh yeah.
to speak,
That's it right there.
there'd be some people in your family, boy.
Don't
They
want-
get upset.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
don't want to be
Because
around you. They don't want to talk to you.
because the truth hurt.
Oh yeah.
And sometimes you come out your soul, boy, you gonna hurt some people.
And I got a few people, you know, in my family that some poems about, and they know it. You
See
know,
that?
and it's just like, what you wrote that for? And everybody know you. Everybody don't know I'm talking about
I was gonna
you,
say, because
you
the only
know?
way they're gonna know is if you expose
Right.
it. Like
You
I'm just,
expose it,
yeah.
You know, this could be for anybody. You know, but
Right.
if the shoe fit, you know,
Boy,
hey,
that boy.
wear it.
Wear it
That thing up.
tied up tight.
Right.
They know it too.
Yeah, they know.
Oh,
Yeah.
Lord.
Yes.
That's funny how people do that when they know something about them. They think
Everybody
everybody
knows.
knows.
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Right? They think everybody
Don't
knows.
nobody
It's just,
know but you and the man above, and that's
Yes.
between y'all.
Yeah. So, talk to me a little bit about because you've had the opportunity to perform on different platforms. Talk to us a little bit about when you were selected and you actually received that congratulation letter from BET.
Oh, yeah.
How was that?
So that was like spur of the moment, like random. It wasn't too random because I knew, the auditions that I was doing. But, you audition, you like, all right, I hear back, whatever. If not, cool, I keep going on about my day. So I was auditioning online through, like, a Zoom with, like, 200 to 300 other people. And they was all rappers and singers. I was literally the only poet on there. And once they got, I had to stay on the Zoom for probably like 2 hours because they went through everybody, singing they song, rapping they song. And I probably didn't go up until like 3, 4 in the morning. And when it was my time, I did my piece, I did my poem, and everybody on Zoom, it was like pin drops. And they was like, is that a poet? I thought this was for singers and rappers, and they like, no, it's open for, to all forms of entertainment. So the lady that was putting it on, we all knew we was auditioning, for a spot, for the BET experience. But I, in no way, shape, or form, was trying to thinking I was going to win or, thinking I was going to get picked to go. Yeah. I just was trying to get my name out, I'm this finna be 200, 300 people on this Zoom. Yeah. I'm finna get some followers, that's what I was thinking about. People finna hear me all over the world. There was people on there like all over. Yeah. And that was my main goal, to just kind of get my name out in different states, let people know, yo, I'm Whit the Poet. This is what I do down here in Florida. Just connecting and networking on Zoom. And like 2 days later, I got an email. And they was like, congratulations, you've been selected, to perform at the BET experience. And I'm like, nah. It was over 300 people on there. And the poet got, picked. So, I clicked the link, blah, 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 and all of that. Went through the whole process. They paid for my ticket. They paid for, everything. They paid for the room. It was like a whole experience. They wanted to make sure you was taken care of. So once I actually got to California, that was a whole different ball game. It was an eye opener, on both levels, the good and the bad. I seen the good side of Hollywood, and then I seen the bad side everybody talk about. And being in the atmosphere of so many entertainers in one room, it's overwhelming because you like, yo, like, oh, there goes so and so, and these people you see on TV, just like that you think you would never see. So I'm in the room with hit makers, record producers, and people head of the label, and I'm like, oh snap, this is the big dogs, and I'm getting introduced to so many people all because poetry. And I was like, yo, this is big. It took me a while to really grasp that I was selected to be a part of a BET experience. We all watch BET. We grew up watching BET. We grew up watching some of these same people. So the fact that I was selected and I was picked and I was able to go and experience all that, because that's what it is. That's the title, the BET experience. And it definitely was an experience, and it opened my eyes up to so many different things, like even just being around different, people in the entertainment world, and just the conversations, all of that was just so different. And I was like, yo, it took me to the next level. So when I came back from there, back home, I was a little cocky. I was like, y'all don't know who I am. I done been all the BET, So it kind of made me step up my brand of poetry. And from there, I just elevated, because I was like, I've been around these people who believe in me, who see my poetry for what it really is, and they see where I'm trying to go. And when I come back home, it's such a small town, and this not that. Right. So my mind has elevated. It's bigger. I see the bigger picture. I'm here. I'm home. I'm grateful for where I am, and I'm making a statement in my hometown. But it's more than that. It's bigger than that. So that's when I came back home from that experience. I was like, okay, this crunch time, this go time, this elevation time. And from there, I kind of just elevated with my poetry and really took it to the next level, because I'm like, BET, I've been on BET, y'all. Right. It was kind of like a positive cockiness, because it was something that I could add, to my resume of poetry, because not everybody gets the opportunity. Not everybody gets that experience. It wasn't, like I was bragging. I was just simply letting people know, if you got a gift, do it. Use it. Let it be known, and you can go to the top. I'm not saying, don't do something, or just believe in what it is that you are doing and be great at it. And that's how I feel, with poetry. I'm a teacher, as my primary job, but on the other side of that, poetry is my passion. And I put in the same amount of work and the same amount of time and effort as I do my teaching to the same amount as when I do my poetry, because they go in the same thing. This is my passion. This is what I want to do. This is how I want to elevate my life and build myself up to a brand that can't nobody tear down, because I'm the one that built it up. So if it come crumbling down, it's me. It's my fault.
Right.
And I chose to. Can't nobody break this down, because ain't nobody help build it but me.
That's
it.
it.
So that's how I feel, and that's how I look at it. In this field of whatever it is that you're doing, do it, put your mind to it, be great at it, and elevate, and let it be a part of your everyday thing that you're doing. If it's in you,
That's
if
awesome.
it's in your heart.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I got a question. I know you were saying something about when you was there before the BET called you. You was in there with rappers and all.
Yeah.
Rap and poetry. What?
Oh,
Ain't
I
that's
know
the
where you
same?
going.
Is it? I mean, is it?
It's honestly the same thing. But if you say that to a rapper, they gonna
Right.
get highly offended.
But why? I
They
mean, because
gonna the rappers feel, and I can say this just from personally speaking, because it's a battle between rappers and poets. Poets think they better than the rappers, and rappers think they better than the poets, and it's all the same.
It's all the same.
It's all the same.
Yeah.
I got poems that I got instrumentals behind, and they be like, oh, now you in our lane. Now you want to be a rapper. Why? Because I put instrumental behind the words that I'm saying. Okay, I could say you a poet because you put in words in front of your instrumental.
Yeah.
So it's all the same thing, and it's the funniest negative positive battle when you really think about it, because the poets, they like, oh, you a rapper. You ain't as deep as me. I'm a poet. I know how to write and really speak. And the rappers be like, all right, but you can't say nothing. I got more wordplay than you. But in reality, it's all the same.
It's the same.
It's the same.
Yeah.
We all saying a story.
You're telling a story.
You're
Correct.
telling a story.
Correct.
when you listen to that BET ciphers,
Yeah.
that's
It's
not like
all
That's
they-
poetry.
But you know
That's
what? But you know what?
poetry.
Though? But you know what? To me now, I might be going somewhere else with this, but poetry, when y'all do poetry, to me it come off as y'all being real. Y'all really expressing the way y'all live and where y'all come from. Some of these rappers be lying.
Oh yeah.
Some of them act like they gangsters. They rap like they gangsters, but they don't.
They go home and
So
do a
I-
whole different thing.
So do them poets be lying like that? Do
Yeah, some poets, that it's they feel, they can read the room, and those type of poets I'm scared of, because they'll get on stage and do a whole poem and cry, and they didn't feel nothing that they was crying about.
Wow.
So it's like,
Oh, yeah?
what you
Okay.
got there, like, at slams, it get real. And poetry slams, to get them points,
Yeah.
because they judge you on, it's like a point system, and they don't have a rubric or, like nothing that they're going off. The judges are simply judging off what they hear. So if a poet is up there and they pouring out their heart, they pouring out their soul, and they can see that it's not really touching the judges, they'll start crying in the middle of their poetry, so they can get a reaction like, oh my God, they really feeling
Lord have
this.
mercy.
The whole time they just trying to get the points, and we got this saying in poetry, it's not about the poetry, the point, because it's judged by the points. So we say it's not about the points. The point is the poetry, and but some poets get really lost in the points, because they want to get a perfect 10,
Right.
and that's the highest level, of points in poetry. You get all 10s from all the judges, but whole time it's not about the points, it's about the poetry. What you saying, how are you touching your audience, because you could get a 10 and then another judge could give you a 4, and now you like, oh, they didn't like my poem, I was up there crying. So people really get up there and lie about their emotions and lie about their poems just to get a high score.
But then they're negating the audience because you're
Right.
trying to capture your
Yeah.
audience, which is why you're doing it.
Right. Yep.
How do you see yourself evolving as a poet in the next few years?
The next 2 years, me as a poet, I definitely would like to, of course, touch as many people as I can with my poetry. I definitely want to make it a brand, not just, household name, but, a brand, nationally, internationally. I want to be known, all over, for my gift that I have, like I said, I've been all over. I've been places, that I didn't even think that I was going to go, so I just got to thank, the Most High just for even allowing me to be in those atmospheres, to touch different people. But I definitely want to make it a brand more than just, like a hobby or, this just something that I'm doing on the side, because it's not. Poetry, like you said, it get deep. You telling people stories, you going into a whole nother aspect of people's lives, and you talking about a lot of stuff, and that's kind of where I see myself, with poetry, touching the nations, so to speak. I want to touch everybody. I want everybody to know who I am, not just for me, but for the stories of other people that I have to tell, that's afraid to, because there's a lot of people out here that want to be heard, but they not saying nothing, so it's for entertainers and, people, like even songwriters, to put it in a song, to sing it, half of these songwriters, they writing for other people. They ain't going through this stuff,
Right.
It's for somebody else. Yeah. But whole time, once the song get out, it become a hit, they think the person that's singing it went through it. No,
right.
no, it don't work like that. It's so many people behind the scenes writing, and it's getting those emotions across. And poetry is not necessarily that. You got one person writing, and it's either you went through it or you knew somebody that went through it. And I say that because, when I write certain pieces, like I said, they either could be real deep, and I'm finna hit you in your heart, or I got some funny pieces that you just finna laugh the whole time. It's all about, how you branding it, how you putting it together, the audience you trying to capture, and just all of that. And I definitely just want to touch nations. That's where I see myself as a poet, with my brand of poetry as Whit the Poet.
That's awesome.
I can see it too, boy.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm talking about you can see the soul,
The passion.
in her, man.
Yes.
Thank
you.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sitting here looking at Whitney. I mean, I see your mama though, but listen, your style.
Thank you.
I'm telling you now. I like Erykah Badu, and I'm gonna tell you right now, I never met Erykah Badu,
Oh, I have.
but your style is putting me
Yes.
in the room with her.
It's the aura, it's the vibe.
Yeah, I can see it. I can see it. Like, where you get your style from? Did it come from Erykah?
Yeah,
I mean, is that your idol?
Yes, when I actually started writing, because that was like the first introduction of poetry that I had was Erykah Badu. I used to listen to her, all the time. I don't even know how I started liking her. I just began liking her. Yeah. And, growing up, I was younger, listening to Erykah Badu. People didn't even, my age, who the heck is Erykah Badu? That's the lady that wear all the weird stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's how people envision, Erykah Badu, the lady that wear all the weird stuff, the lady that wear the tablecloths on her head, So that's how people portray her. And then once I became into, like, my own person, once I started getting my own vibe, my own era, that was kind of something that I was like, okay, this is me, this is my style, and then once I started doing poetry, it kind of just all meshed together. It was, like a vibe, like an aura, it fit, like I could wear, whatever, I could wear regular clothes, but I always have my hair up on.
Yeah.
That's how people know me, and people literally call me Badu, because that's just who they see when they look at me. Yeah. And it's not about trying to take something that she created. It's really just like an idol. I look up to her. She's an inspiration to me. When it comes to clothing, spiritual things. The aura, the genre. The poetry, and just the whole vibe. It's like that's my whole aura. And people really, they be like, oh, that's Badu, that's Badu, that's Lil Badu, that's how they know me as, and I kind of branded myself as that. So now, when people see that, they're respecting that vibe, they're respecting that aura. So when I come, you gonna know, oh yeah, I feel her vibe, I feel it. Yeah.
That's
boy,
awesome.
Boy, Whitney, boy, I'm my bad with real, but listen, I don't know if you're in a relationship or not. You're not?
No.
The reason I ask that because guys your age see you. I'm saying they see you. I mean, your appearance and stuff, they know you ain't playing.
Oh, yeah, no. People scared to talk to me.
Yeah. Because when you go to talking, they got to get their stuff together.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's funny because that's exactly what it is. Like they're scared. Not I don't say scared, but it's like an intimidation.
Intimidated.
They're
Yeah.
very intimidated because they never seen somebody carry their self like me, especially in this generation and
That's
you know
true.
the environment that we live in, the place that we live in. You know, they've never seen a young female like me with this aura of, okay, she really on her stuff.
Yeah.
I got to come correct if I do want to, and if I don't want to talk to her, I still can't come talking to her plain.
Yeah.
Because she talking about something.
Yeah.
Even if it's just regular conversation, don't sit in my face be talking about jibber jabber. No, what are we doing? What are we talking about? Even if it's just simple conversation at the grocery store. I understand, you know, hey, how you doing? But don't sit here behind me when I'm trying to pay for my groceries and try to have a whole conversation, because now what you want? What you trying to get? You know, you trying to get in on my aura? Okay, cool. I get that all the time. You know, so it's just like, but what are we doing? If you're not trying to come correct, don't come at all. You know, and that's just how it is. And some people, they see that and they don't even touch it, because they like, nah, I ain't even I ain't even on that level.
Yeah.
You know, and I do that purposely because how you look and how you present yourself out in public, that's how you gonna get treated. That's how people's gonna approach you. You know, so if I'm out here looking like a queen, they gonna have to respect me as a queen. They gonna have to approach me just as such. You ain't finna come up to me and, yo, what's up? What up, Red? No, we ain't doing that. No, Playboy. Hey, how you doing? What's your name? How old are you? Who your people? Okay. If you're not trying to talk to me like that, then nah, go about your business. You know, and they understand that just by my aura, what I have on, you know, what I'm wearing. I cover my head up. I have locks, but some people don't even know I got locks, you know, or how long they are, because I always have them up. I always have my hair wrap on, because this is the covering. You know, once you get to this head, it's you could tell me anything, but no, I got my hair wrap on. You can't nothing get up in here. Not even conversation. You know, this thing's so tight. So that's how people approach me, with that level of intimidation. You know, it could be good or it could be bad.
Right.
I scare people away. Some people be like, oh, that's the girl that do all the witch stuff.
See,
and I really don't.
Really?
You know, they think it's like witchcraft, you know, because how I dress and my aura, and, you know, they she be reading people. I really don't. I just do poetry.
It's because you different.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, this era of young women. Y'all know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want to say nothing bad about you know the sexy red and all that. I mean, I respect them too. You know, that's what they do. But that's that era. And then when girls your age come up in the inner city, they see you dressing like that.
Right.
First thing they gonna say, man, that girl, they're weird.
Yeah. I get it all the time.
She weird. You know.
Why you wear all them clothes and why not? This is what I want. Why you mad at me
for covering up?
For covering up for wearing what I want to wear. This what I want to do. This my body. Why you mad?
Yeah.
You know, because I'm not out here half dressed. You know, got everything showing. That's you.
Yeah.
Salute to you.
Yeah.
I can't do what you do, because if I do, then everybody gonna be looking at me like, what you got that on for? That's not you. Where your head wrap?
Yeah.
Where your covering? They're gonna be looking at me to portray what I've portrayed already.
Yeah.
So if I go out in some booty shorts, they're gonna be like, that ain't her. She trying to
Yeah.
be somebody she not. And that's not me.
Yeah.
That's so not me.
And that's good, man. And I'm not even trying to say you perfect.
Right, no,
but
yeah.
young women, her age and younger, they need to just look at her appearance, her expression.
Yeah.
She's telling them, be who you are.
Right, and don't be scared.
Don't be a follower.
Right.
That's when I look at Whitney, that's what I see.
Yeah.
She being who she is. She ain't trying to follow nobody.
And Erykah Badu got this one song. It's Apple Tree. If you ain't
Apple
trying to
Tree.
be down
Apple
with
Tree.
me,
Now.
You can't be down with me. I
Can't
ain't
be
trying to
down.
be like nobody else. I'm trying to be like me. And that's basically what that whole song's talking about. That song Apple Tree. If you don't want to be down with me, you don't want to be from my apple tree. She literally talking about being herself.
Yeah.
You know, I wear thrift store clothing. This is me. This not you. This me.
Yeah.
You know, and if you don't want to be down, you just don't want to be down. That's what she's saying in her song.
Red, that's
And
her girl. Bro.
She's saying,
Badu's
I'm cool
her girl.
with that. I'm
Badu's
cool
her
if
girl.
you don't want to be down, but I'm not finna change who I am because you don't want to be down.
Right.
I'm gonna be me no matter what, and can't nobody take that away from me. And I feel I am trying to set an example, you know, for younger people, you know, for younger females in this generation, to let them know, you know, you could wear what you want to wear. and still be presentable. You could wear what you want to wear and still get the attention that you want. Because me dressing like this, yes, I get attention, but it's not the attention, necessarily of, like a negative influence. People looking at me, they want to know, dang, what she do? Who she know? It's more of that. And it draws people to me, and I get more of a reaction just because how I am, how I'm portraying myself out in public. And I learned that from a young age. My grandmama taught me that, don't go out there looking like that, because however you look, that's how you're going to get treated.
That's old school teaching now.
And I learned that a long time ago.
That's old school there.
Just growing up, it's certain things that you don't do as a female, as a woman, just growing up, especially when you know better, you do better. Yeah. I'm not finna be out there, having them talk about something. Going back to my grandma, I seen your granddaughter out there with them little, but no. Because even
funny.
if somebody do say something like that, they gonna say, no, that wasn't Whit. That wasn't Whit. No, that wasn't
the wrong person, right?
That wasn't her.
It's real, boy. Whit.
Right.
Hey, I know one thing, boy.
What?
I don't want to be the subject of that poem, boy, because I don't step to you. I don't step the wrong way. You know what I'm
We'll say you
saying?
about to call Tyrone.
Boy, listen, boy, no, sir.
That was not me.
No.
I don't know who that was.
Oh,
Well,
boy.
Desiree, we got the next little segment of the show. What we got?
All right, Whit. So this portion of our show is Truth and Share. So the three of us will ask you a question, and we just ask that you answer the question as truthful as possible. All right. Green, you want to go first?
Yeah, I can go. Whitney already done told me how she feel about Erykah Badu. But I'm still ask you about Erykah Badu. I want you to give me one word that you can describe Erykah Badu. That's your girl now. I know you got one word.
Yeah, but it's so many.
I know
Let me see. I would describe her as a go-getter.
Okay.
Either way, like I said, she her.
Okay.
She gonna go get whatever she want. How she gonna get it? Because people portray her, so to speak. Okay, we know this Erykah Badu. We know it's gonna be weird. We know we not gonna understand what she's talking about.
Yeah.
Either way, she gonna go do it. She gonna go get it and bring you back to make you. Oh yeah, that was deep. But we knew that. We knew she was gonna bring that show. She gonna go get it. She'll go get her. Yeah. Whether if it's poetry, whether it's her style, whether it's in anything that she's doing, she's like, okay, I'm gonna go get it. I'm gonna go do it, and they gonna feel me.
Okay,
so
okay.
I
got two more women that's in that circle.
Okay.
I don't know if you know about her. Or you might know about this lady right here. What you know about Angie Stone?
Oh, just don't. I like her. I haven't really, grasped her, but I know who she is, and I've heard of her music, and she's a very soulful woman from what I know and the music that I've heard her do. But I haven't really, listened to a lot of her stuff just because that's a different genre, that's a different age bracket for me. But I do know she's in that same genre of soulful, that poetic, that R&B, smooth type of flow, and I know who she is, and I definitely, think that she is in that same genre, of, just that smooth, soulful, throwback, old school, that type of feel, So I mess with her. Yeah, I like her.
About Jill Scott.
Jill Scott, like Jill Scott. What I'm feeling.
Yes.
Jill Scott, I like her. She on the same page kind of to me with Erykah Badu, Lauryn Hill, all of them kind of in that same boat, because they have that aura.
Yeah.
They have that vibe, of just that, and Jill Scott, she definitely, especially when she did that, I don't know if y'all heard of that Crown Royal on Ice. That is called Crown Royal on Ice. Ooh, that's a good one.
Well, see, Whitney got a soul, real. So mine really wasn't the truth to share. I just wanted you to share. Share, yeah.
Because
I know I know where her mind was at.
Yeah, Jill Scott, I come,
But y'all young boys, Whitney age, boy, y'all don't stand a chance. All that hooping and hollering, jumping around. No, boy. No, good gracious, no. Huh?
Come on now.
What you say?
She don't even like him young.
I don't even like him young.
Period.
Y'all hear that?
With you when you're right.
Y'all hear that?
It's on me?
It's on you, real.
All right. What's one thing about your audience? I'm sorry. What's one thing about you that your audience might be surprised to learn?
well, I don't know if it's a surprise, but a lot of people think that I have this, like, people have this notion that and I am, like, I'm obsessed with Erykah Badu, and they think every song, that I love, but I do. But one of my most favorite songs is not even by Erykah Badu. My favorite song is by Maxwell. And a lot of people, they be like, when I have like these little shows, or I do like these little game busters or whatever, everybody always think anything Erykah Badu, that they gonna win.
Yeah.
It's like, no, I got another personality. I like other stuff too.
Yeah.
So people are really surprised, when I say one of my favorite songs is a Maxwell song instead of an Erykah Badu song.
All right. That's all right. That's cool. That's cool.
All right, Whit the Poet. So, just hearing your story, do you feel like poetry is undervalued?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Especially in the world that we live in, where we live at, it's definitely not talked about. It's definitely not on a level that it should be. Especially where we live, it's so many people, like you said in the beginning, it's so many people that got so much talent.
Yeah.
And don't nobody know, because where we live is so small. And I'm doing something even smaller in my small community, with poetry. Don't nobody really know about poetry. Don't nobody really haven't even been to like a poetry show or a poetry slam. I was doing, open mics for a couple months,
Right.
here in the city. And it was good while it lasted, but it kind of died down because they not ready for that
level, yeah.
atmosphere. And it's okay, because I understand where I am, I understand my environment. It's just not on that level right now. But it definitely is undervalued everywhere. Poetry and poets, we don't get paid enough, we don't get talked about enough, we don't get the recognition that we need, like the football players, like the dancers, like the singers and the song. We know, even though we in the same field of entertainment, we take a back seat to
Right.
everybody in front of us, because it's just like, you the poet, okay, but y'all asking us to write y'all commercials. Y'all asking us to write y'all songs. Y'all asking us for our brain, but y'all not giving us the credibility that we need, or that we, are valued of, because it's not talked about. Nobody really paying attention to poets or poetry until it's time for them to pay attention to the poets and poetry.
Because I think for the most part, everybody gonna resort to a Maya Angelou,
Right.
You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
yeah.
And things like that. Those who are known at that level
Right.
of it, opposed to
Yeah.
those that are right in your
Right.
backyard. And then what's the one young lady who spoke at the inauguration? She did her poem.
Yeah. I know who you're talking
So
about. I
that
forget her name. Yeah.
her being on that platform kind of
Right.
got her name out there. But like you said, you don't hear a lot about poets and poetry in our community,
Right.
and it's sad because I mean
because it's a lot of talent.
It's a lot of talent, and it's
lot.
something being said. So
Especially when you're doing it right.
yeah.
Yeah,
You're doing it
Yeah,
right.
thank
You're
you.
You're doing it right.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So I guess we got up to that time. I mean, if you guys just hold on 1 second, we got something special in just a few though.
Man,
But we got a shout out, Green. We got a shout out.
We're going to do shout outs?
Yeah. It's time. It's time, Green.
Well, look, I just want to shout out the whole 941, my family. And, hey, I want everybody to have a happy Thanksgiving, man.
Yeah.
Hey, look, y'all, hey, my voice is hoarse. I don't know what happened. The weather changed, my voice changed.
Yeah. It's okay.
I'm sounding like Dog Vader over here, boy.
It's so crazy, man. D-Ray?
D-Ray. All right. Shout outs. Shout out, Whit. Thanks for coming.
Yeah.
Truly appreciate it. Remain humble. You've always had such a humble spirit about yourself, and I love that. Shout out to my family. Just hope everyone's enjoying their holiday season with their family and loved ones. And just to think about those who have lost loved ones from this time last year up until now. They'll reach out to those people and let them know that you love them and you're thinking about them during this season. So.
Absolutely. All right, Whit. Normally I would go before you, but for this special occasion, I'm going to let you go first. You got a special shout out?
Yeah, I just want to shout out the whole 941, everybody, my followers, my supporters, my family, first and foremost, for believing in me, for, you know, for continuing to push me, to elevate me within my poetry. And, you know, everybody out there, you know, that's not family, you know, but you is family, you know. I just thank y'all. I shout everybody out, you know, that's been following me over the years, you know, watching me grow as a poet and sticking with me through everything. So, yeah, shout out to all my followers and supporters.
Awesome. And I got just a real quick shout out for all the 9-for-1 teams that are continuing to play in the playoffs.
Yeah.
You know, that's huge, man. We got about 4 or 5 teams around here between Sarasota and Manatee County that are still playing some ball. So I want to give a shout out to those players and those coaches and those programs that are doing so well. And, you know, we normally just close the show a certain way, but today we're going to do a little bit differently.
Uh-oh.
All right? We're going to do a little differently. We're going to actually have Whit the Poet share, you know what I'm saying, one of her poems with us. And as we close out, I don't know if we bring you in like this or we go out like that.
Both,
okay?
So
Both.
we're going to bring Whit the Poet in for one selection of her poems.
Okay. What am I do? Okay, I got it. My mother is a sea at midnight. Oftentimes people see her raft of waves but rarely notice her calmness. Yes, she can be deadly. Holding on to a riptide of current events that will leave you lost at sea. You see, she has got a mouth as strong as a killer whale. Will grab you and sink you down to the bottom of the ocean floor of her own insecurity. She drowns. In the lack of self-affirmation, not realizing that she is affirming to 3 other people that's a part of her. What good is it for her to own a mirror if she's got children, giving her direct reflection of herself? What more affirmation does she need than the imagery of her own seed sprouting like wildflowers in the middle of the desert floors? We all are just like her. Starting off with my older brother who can never really be alone. Has our mother's eyes, looks for justification of himself and people in relationships he sees no future with. Has her hands, will place himself in the most toxic situations and hide them as if he wasn't the one that caused the chaos in the first place. Silently looking for validations of praise in between the spaces of his palms, but those hands are loving, are godly. Cast your cares upon him. His hands are godly, allowing women to fall in love with him, to become his handkerchief that he uses on a daily basis. Or like my younger brother who has her mouth, and them two share the same tongue of vengeance. Doesn't care what comes out of it as long as it gets out. Will run as long as a run-on sentence or a broken faucet leaking, steaming water will burn you if you ever got too close to it before you're supposed to. Like bees preparing for honey to be so sweet with the illusion of a wasp. Be prepared for its sting, but you gotta love them. Because they got a heart as pure as gold, will give you their last without even you having to ask. And then there's me, carrying the spirit of my mama in my womb, her only daughter, the woman she wished she had got the chance to be growing up. I never heard the end of it. Girl, you look just like your mama. I look in the mirror and see her face every day. I wear her smile on the outside of my cheekbones. I wear the trauma she never talked about on the outside of my skin. That's why it be so thick. My grandmother, rest her soul, burst out a baby into generational curses. My mother, being born into generational curses. My mother, carrying the story of another woman's pages in between the ovaries of her ovaries for 9 months, birthing out a healer. Here I am, a healer, not realizing when I am the one that needs healing myself. You see, I'm just like my mother, taking care of everybody else, not thinking about myself. You see, we all are just like her, me and each one of my brothers. And if she never makes sure to give us else anything in this world, she damn sure made sure to give us all a piece of her.
That was amazing, Whit. That was amazing.
Yeah, I know we do this, but I want to do this too. God.
Tell me when to stop. My hands can't stop. Tell me.
God. Boy.
Boy,
Hey, man.
That's deep right there, boy.
That was deep.
That's deep.
Thank you.
Boy, that's deep right there.
Thank you.
I'm gonna tell you what I like, man. You know, coming just like I always said, I love what we do
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, me too.
because we letting our community see
Right.
the talent right here in your backyard.
It's right here.
You ain't got to go on TV, man.
Right.
They right here. You can touch Whitney.
Yeah, I'm right here.
You can't touch Erykah Badu. You can't touch Jill Scott.
Yeah,
Right.
You can touch her.
absolutely.
Yes.
And man, you know, coming from Rogers Project, and the reason they call it a project, because that's how they looked at us at that time. We're a project, like a science project. But a whole lot of roses
Right.
Yes.
come from that concrete, boy.
Yes, sir.
Concrete jungle, baby.
Right.
Man,
Concrete jungle. Whitney from the concrete jungle,
Right.
baby.
Yes.
that was,
Yes, sir. That was deep, man. That was
Thank
deep.
you.
we
Thank
appreciate
you.
you. We
Thank
appreciate
Yes, sir.
you sharing that with us and us experiencing that. Man, that's man.
Real.
I mean,
Look at my fingers, man. I can't stop them.
No, I'm just talking about, you know, you took me down to the bottom of the ocean. You brought me back up.
Yeah.
And your brother just talked too much. He stayed too much. And then
That's
you
what I
ended it with
say.
you.
Yeah.
The healer.
The healer, boy.
Messiah.
Yes, sir. Yes,
That's why I
sir.
said you could close your eyes and just
Yeah.
see what I'm talking about. You
Oh,
know,
my
like,
God.
You got some poets, the poem be good, but you had no idea what they was talking about.
Oh,
and
my
I
God.
don't never want to be that poet. You know, my poem be so good, you don't know what I'm talking about. I want you to really see and envision my every word that I'm saying from
Yes.
the top to the bottom. You know, so yeah.
And with that being said, once again, guys, you guys listen to Troof Be Told. You're watching Troof Be Told. Y'all know what we got going on, but just make sure you subscribe to us.
Subscribe,
to
man.
our YouTube channel. Also, man, y'all follow Whit.
Yes.
She's
yeah.
doing some great things, man.
Yes.
Opportunity to look at some
Yes,
of her
sir.
stuff. Great things. Make sure you follow her.
Yes.
And I guess,
Yes, sir,
man, I guess we out, right? That's it? No, we not out?
You know what?
You got
know
an
what,
event
Real?
coming up, don't you?
You know what? Wait,
Yep.
Guess what? Guess what?
I'm with you.
February 15th.
Okay, my bad.
We having an R&B and Me Fest at the 13th Ave Dream Center.
Okay.
Like I said, it's called 13th Ave now,
Right.
but it's on 9th Avenue East,
Yeah,
Martin
yeah.
Luther King.
Yeah.
February 15th, 2025. Whit.
I'm already knowing.
With.
Got to be more careful.
Yes, I'm there. I'm there.
Man, please come out, y'all. This is going to be a big event, man. This is one of our main fundraisers. This is going to be our first fundraiser.
Yep.
And this is going to be an every year event.
Right.
And the cause, man, we doing it for a big cause, man. Whether it's going to be for scholarships, whether it's going to be from a non-profit organization. You know, the cause is going to be real serious, man. So we want y'all to come out, have a good time, and enjoy the city.
Yes.
Yeah.
Y'all come out, man. Y'all be talking about y'all won't have something to do.
Right.
We got it.
We got it.
got it.
We got it, man. So y'all come on out, man.
Appreciate that, Big Green. Hey. We done.
So we good now?
Oh, we good now. All right, Troof Be Told. Hey, we out of here. Appreciate you.
out.
We'll see you next episode.
Peace.
Truth, really, that's all we know. Keep it real and authentic. This truth be told, only the truth. Tune in, cause you gotta watch. It's like you with us while we kick it in the barbershop. Here to motivate and inspire. Hosted by the real deal and the God Barber. I hope that you ready. Keep it funny and edgy. Let's go. You already know. Truth be told. Let's go.